Hi. Okay, so we're back and we're still configuring the JOSM OpenStreetMap editor to do GNS name imports. This part of the configuration is completely optional and it's a lot less necessary than it used to be, but I'll show you how to do it in case it works better for you this way. I have a task. I have a project open and I actually have a task that I'm already working on here just so that I can show you why we're doing this configuration change. So if we look at the JOSM editor, you're going to see a lot of, you're going to have to be dealing with these. Down here you can see you're going to have to be dealing a lot with these village names. And in the default configuration of JOSM, they're pretty small. And they used to be a lot smaller, and they used to be almost impossible to work with without adjustment. At least for my eyes, they were impossible to work with without adjustment. They're much improved in the latest version of JOSM, and they're pretty readable just like this. But if this is a little bit too small for you, if you feel like making this text bigger is going to make your job easier, then I'm going to show you how you make this text bigger by creating your own custom style sheet for JOSM. So we're going to get into that. And I call this MapCSS adjustments. MapCSS is the style sheet that gets used, style sheet syntax that gets used to adjust display issues in JOSM. So this is the MapCSS that you're going to need to use. And again, you can get it from the comments on this video, or you can ask me for them directly in the IRC channel or email. But I'm going to go ahead and select all of this and I'm going to copy it. And you can see the key part here is I say font size 13. I specify all these nodes. If it's a place equals city, a place equals town, a place equals village, hamlet, isolated dwelling, neighborhood, suburb. If a node is specified as any of these kinds of places, I'm going to use a font size 13. And I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to make it white with a black halo. And I'm going to make that black halo 1 pixel wide. So if 13 isn't big enough for you, you can change this number to 15 if that works for you. We'll make it 15. It'll be too big for me, but we'll make it 15 just so you can see how it works. So I'm going to make this font size 15. And now I'm going to copy this. And I need to put it in a file all by itself, and then I need to tell JOSM to use that file for display. So I'm going to use Notepad. That's what I just got done practicing with, so I'm going to use Notepad, and I'm going to paste in my MapCSS, and then I'm going to say Save As, and then you're going to want to make sure you change this. You're going to want to change this to all files. Don't leave it as .txt or it will automatically add that extension, and we need to put our own extension on it. So switch that to all files, and I'm going to call this blakeexample.mapcss. And I'm just saving this in my documents folder. It'll be easy to find later. So blakeexample.mapcss, and I say save. And that's it. And now we just need to tell JOSM to use it. So this is what it looks like in the default installation of JOSM. You can see, kind of small. So I'm going to go up to Edit, Preferences, Map Settings, Map Paint Styles. And then this is the list of active styles. This is the JOSM default, which is what you see in the background here. Potlatch 2, which I don't use, and this is the one that I was using previously, but we're going to click on the plus symbol, and I'm going to name this Blake's Example, and then I'm going to find the file that we just created with Notepad. I'm already in my documents. I could just click on my documents and get me there, and you can see it's only looking for certain files, XML, MapCSS, or .zips. So I'm just going to slide down to the end here, and here's blakeexample.mapcss. That's the one we just created. I'm going to open it. I'm going to say OK. And it's checked, so that means that it's active. And the nice part about JOSM is, for a lot of stuff, it just reloads it in real time, so there's no restarting. So I've loaded this. It's going to make it 15-point text. It's ready to go as soon as I say OK. And now you can see down here, these names are much more readable. This is the size it was before we started, because we didn't change. This is a place state. We didn't change that in our list, so that stayed small because we're not editing any of the state stuff. We're only editing villages and hamlets and towns and cities. So now ours are nice and big, and we'll be able to see them easily when we're trying to find them on the map to see if they exist or not. So this one's totally optional. If this works for you and you can see it just fine, then you don't have to change a thing. If you feel like making them bigger is going to help you, then go right ahead and make them bigger, and I just showed you how. And send me an email if you have any questions about that part. So we'll be back for the next part of configuration.